Last week, we heard another president stand up at the State of the Union and offer a vision of America fundamentally at odds with California values.
So what I'm hearing, Mr. Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is that a message of unity, anti-socialist, anti-infant murder, and national security is completely against California's way of life and everything. Completely against your values, eh? Okay. Proceed.
In California, like our nation, our undocumented population is at the lowest level in more than a decade. Some 550,000 fewer in our state alone.
Well, that's kind of interesting. I mean, I wonder how you know that, considering they're undocumented. So you technically don't actually know how many there are. That's undocumented. But I wouldn't doubt that there's fewer, because illegal immigrants, let alone normal Americans, are fleeing your state. Businesses are fleeing because y'all's democratic policies have jacked up taxes and everything so bad, and housing costs so ridiculously much. So yeah, I guess I could see where you're coming from there. Well, let's move on from this, because we know California, at least a good portion of it, has a border wall. So illegal immigrants shouldn't be too big of a deal for you, unless they're just coming from other states on the border and coming into California. Okay.
Ending the high-speed rail entirely means we will have wasted billions and billions of dollars with nothing but broken promises, partially fulfilled commitments, and lawsuits to show for it.
Yeah, that checks out. That's part of the problem. It's a fantasy. You're crazy. You've lost your mind. The Democratic Party in your state has lost their minds. I don't think you can call your state Democrats. They're just progressive liberals. They're part of the problem. I don't know where you were really going with that one, but yeah, go on.
With all due respect, I have no interest in sending back $3.5 billion of federal funding that was allocated to this project to President Donald Trump.
So what you're saying is us federal taxpayers are just out $3.5 billion because of y'all's California's pie-in-the-sky plan of building this high-speed rail. Okay, well, see, that wasn't your money at all. That's federal money. That's our money, the people's money. I don't know, well, I do know why. This is all an Obama thing, an Obama era issue. He decided that he was going to give you all this type of money to build this. And you said it yourself. I'm looking at a quote from you right now. Let's level, and I quote, "Let's level about the high-speed rail. Right now, there simply isn't a path to get from Sacramento to San Diego, let alone from San Francisco to LA." Okay, so you know this isn't going to work. You said it yourself. This just isn't going to work. Why don't you take a little bit of what one of your Republican representatives, Kevin McCarthy, said? He said in a statement, "It was time to move on from this broken high-speed rail project and redirect our efforts to infrastructure projects that work for Californians." That seems like a really good idea, because I don't know if you've looked outside recently, But if you look outside, I guarantee if you look outside your windows, you'll see tents everywhere. Because homelessness is really on the rise in your state. But, yeah, I think you owe us taxpayers our money back. All 3.5 billion of those dollars should come back to the taxpayers. Because this is ridiculous. You're holding money that doesn't belong to you. Just because it was allocated to your little pie in the sky project, you've already said from Sacramento to like San Diego, that was the goal. And then link up some other places. Well, you already said out of your own words that that's just not going to be able to be done because it would cost way too much. Like, I think it was around $100 billion it would end up costing. If not more, because, let's face it, y'all suck at math. Y'all suck at figuring the price of things in actuality because y'all think and dream really big without actually looking at any of the things that make it work. But yeah, you screwed the pooch on this one. The way I see it, the whole deal with the federal government and Congress giving you that money or allocating that money towards your projects null and void because you, like I said, you said it yourself that it can't be done. So the original, in a contract world, that would be a null and void contract. Because the original statement was that you were going to build this thing from here to here. And if you can't do that, you forfeited the funds. Because you just can't do it. So I don't know where you're coming off so strong about this project when you know it's a failed project. I think it's just because you're embarrassed. But yeah. Take a lesson from Virginia. We were going to do a high-speed rail project, and guess what? We bailed on it. After actually researching finances and everything for it and realizing, whoa, this thing's going to cost way too much and we'll never make any of it back because people just aren't going to ride a train that much. Think about it. And everyone else, all of you out there, think about that. This is what our taxpayer money goes to all the time. Failed projects. Stuff that makes no sense. But as always, like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch y'all on the flip side.